Have you ever wondered the real reason why Atlantis ended? If so, stick around. Today I'm diving into one of my channeled messages, which is available currently in my living library of remembrance called In Another Light. You can find it in my bio. But today we're diving into the Red Codes of Atlantis. This is designed essentially to alleviate your systems of any grief, any woe, any worry, or anything that your body is holding on to from the negativity that was caused in the Atlantean times. So we're going to start at the very beginning with the becoming. From the very edge of time, we bring you the details patterning to a vanquished era, a moment of escapism and adventure of a lifetime. Delve with us into altered states and join their journey as we paint the scenes on which one shifts. Situated in a vast land of lakes and waterways, a remote group of highly adept beings developed a living consciousness. This living consciousness was weaved into the fabrics of the place created. The crystalline grids of the Earth's crust were used as mirrors to build on the surface to direct energy and streamline flow. The skies above reflected the energy back down, magnetising the whole area. This place was a living, breathing engine with a consciousness to map out entire utilisation of its fields. It was indeed a playground of unbelievability, but it was real. Overseeing the transition into forming a whole civilization and on an outreach post was a consecutive task. Although highly skilled, and the task force was also needed to adapt. Overseeing the transition into forming a whole civilization on an outreach post was a consecutive task. Although highly skilled, the task force also needed to adapt to have better advantages for the forthcoming ages. They needed to be adept at all things if the knowledge was to surpass timefolds. Timefolds are tiny disturbances in the biochemistry of the Earth's rotational fields. These electromagnetic waves create short bursts of disturbance energy which shift or adjust. The idea was to stabilise an expanding of time, to pass on the knowledge, information and keeper energies so that future generations, timeline mergers and consciousness could arrive with the same operational tools. There was a team of grid keepers. Now this team was specialists in their field of expertise. Each grid, each network had been fabricated with the Earth's core energy and merged with ascension energy to co-create source energy into structures, buildings, waterways, pathways. You name it, a grid worker team had infused it. Why, you might ask? When you connect a grid work to a structure, the movement and flow of this structure is then living. It has energy flow. It has direction. And if the direction is essentially merged with another grid, it flows effortlessly. The energy created in one grid joins another, then another, and flows continuously. Now, if you direct these grids at certain angles, place them at certain entry points, they can create a magnetic field. When combined, they can also let energy flow so expansively that you are able to store excess energy for further utilisation. When there was an entry point found, this would be an excessive amount of energy coming up from Earth. A grid could be formed and then a tall structure placed on top to direct the energy flow. These towers were again infused with scriptures, grid information and geometric symbology, where through intention and connection the utilisation of energy produced could be expanded. Grid keepers were specialists, as we have said, and one of their tasks still to this day is to stabilise, repair and ascend so that the information is still accessible in the terms of flow of energy. Repairing grids became a frequent event when a timefold occurred, as a surge of energy could frequently overstimulate a weaker grid. So the replacing, the repairing and infusing of grids and the structures was a continuity of energy. If you want to have more information, if you want to seek more knowledge about the Atlanteans, about this time, about what happened, about releasing what is being held within your systems, then go to the Red Codes of Atlantis in another light and download the scriptures that will help you start understanding what went on in that era. And let me know in the comments if you want a part 2 and what piece of information out of that becoming captured your attention.